Bdell, what's going on, brother? How you doing, man?
Peace, peace, brother. Peace. How you doing?
Yes, sir, man. I'm doing good. So, firstly, man, I mean, today, September the 9th, everybody talk about this 999 manifestation portal. You know what I'm
hmm
saying? What does this signify? What does this mean spiritually? Like, what should we be doing with this opportunity on this day?
Now, historically and metaphysically, it's basically the blueprint for the restoration of the matriarch. Because when you get into the number 13 is connected to the energy of Ophiuchus, which is the serpent bearer. And the serpent bearer is basically the epitome of Christ consciousness because it's basically symbolizing Jesus walking on water, which is the Kundalini spinal fire that's in alignment with the 9 year because it's a representation of the cosmic snake taking back order over the planet. So now it reinforces a Trinity principle. So there's a reason why the blood moon started on September 7th, because 7 is connected to creation, because it talks about how God created the heavens and the earth in the 6th day, in the 7th day he rested. That's basically in alignment. So this moon on September 7th is the manifestation portal. And then on September 8th, that's when you're supposed to unrelease all the trauma that kept you stuck in a fixed position reality under the artificial time analysis mechanism of Saturn, because Saturn is in alignment with 8. So you release your trauma on September 8th. And then on September 9th is when you go through the 999 completion code. So there's a reason why tonight, where you have it's called the Epsilon, the Epsilon Persei shower. It's a Persei meteor shower that's taking place tonight. So that's basically like a cosmic celebration.
Okay, so is it like more of like just everything kind of sped up so you can manifest something that usually would take years in a form of like days, maybe months, just a faster manifestation thing. And then also when you was talking about the trauma, is it like another way to release your trauma without really having to do the work? You know what I'm saying?
Yes, because like I said, it's a process of self-realization. And self-realization is operated by way of the spirit of Melchizedek, to where you break out of the trauma loop, because the trauma loop is what keeps you in a perpetual state of reincarnation. So as we went through the healing process, this was basically the Trinity principle of the cosmic order of the 3, 6, and the 9 by way of manifestation. Because 3 is a representation of the mind, to where you pull your manifestations down from the mental plane as you go through the blood moon portals. Because the blood moon portals is basically an ascension process, to where everything that was acclimated to your 12th house was basically going to materialize in physical form through your manifestations. So that's why a lot of times your manifestations is not going to be able to materialize in physical form until you break free from the trauma, because trauma is a form of spiritual resistance, to where you don't have an evolutionary process.
And that's another way, like, when people say blockage of like the chakras,
Mm-hmm.
trauma was what will, keep them 7 chakras from lighting up and for you, ascending all the way up the Kundalini.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Um, so what should we be doing though? You know what I'm saying? Like just, manifesting and really being intentional with what we speaking, you know what I'm saying? Because like is there a certain feeling that we supposed to feel with it, or just a day like, you know what I'm saying?
Hypothetically speaking, if your ass woke up drained this morning, that means that you released all the negative energy that was pulling on your frequency, because that's what the moon basically embodies. It embodies an energy extraction. So everything that was pulling on your energy, such as people, places, and possessions, that's connected to the three-dimensional construct, that was basically the cosmic core being released, to where you're able to reach the apex of your spiritual journey. So everything that was holding you back in the old world is basically gone right now.
Mm, okay. Oh, cause the shift. So it's also signifying that we are in a great shift. So everything is shifting. Okay, now I see what you're saying. So what do you think is a lot of the reason why these celebrities are going on tour? Because shoot, why Beezy, he on tour right now. Chris Brown, shit, I think Drake was on there earlier. Like a lot of big artists are doing that tour this year. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's your take on that?
Like I said, it's another form of bread and circus. Everything is based on a form of entertainment, because a lot of times when you have a lot of concerts, this is when they start to ramp up the moon magic, and the moon magic is based on sacrifice. There was a god today who they basically found he's a rapper, and they found a decomposed body in the trunk of his Tesla. So this is right after we came out of the, the blood moon eclipse, and it happened today on September 9th. So that's a completion portal. So everything that took place with him, I think his name is like D4 or something like that. I forgot the guy's rapper name, but this is a completion portal that we're going through right now. So whatever took place is probably a ritual. So everything that you see with the industry right now basically is a mirror to our reality.
Right. So at them concerts, right? It's a lot of energy being summoned. People screaming, just the energy itself. You know what I'm saying? Even with sports and that industry, but for sure at these concerts, is that not like one of the biggest like energy extracting events that they hold up? Like, does that charge them as well?
Yes, this is why they play the music at an octave vibration, which is the devil's interval. They don't play the music at a love frequency like how Michael Jackson used to do. If you ever notice now, a lot of people don't cry. They, ramp up to, low vibrational music, just like when you had NBA Youngboy and you had the YNs going crazy, because it's basically a reverse of frequency. It's a negative frequency. But during the time when you had Michael Jackson, everybody was, in love. They was crying. Everybody was basically harmonizing together and, within the congregation when he was basically, demonstrating his music or whatever. Because, it's one of those things where the frequency of love basically encompasses everything. And this is why, the great majority of music right now is being compromised. It has to be compromised because the somatic vibrations contain a form of magnetism that is attached to the heart chakra. So that's how you know that by way of the heart chakra, that is basically the mechanism on how you manifest. You can manifest through the electrical etheric frequencies that's connected to the heart chakra in the music, because it travels on 0 point energy fields. Because the music in itself is what cultivates a logistical emotion to where you're able to, materialize. As I said last night, if you want to manifest something, you have to cry. You got to think about it so much to the point where you cry, because the crying is the emotional energy to pull in the manifestation to the point where you believe it. So this is why they compromise the music, because the music is what gives you that formula.
Trump telling everyone to evacuate Iran's capital, as they have like sent a nuke over there. Um, what does that signify?
What it basically signifies is that he went through the process of the coronation of kingship, because he is a representation of the three-headed beast in the book of Revelation, to where he has full divinity over international governments. So this is why he's able to deploy military. This is why he's able to, sign executive orders and bend the law according to his agenda for 2030 and his Trump 2025 manifesto.